Having a mentor is really important, so I want to talk to you guys about how to find a mentor, how to have mentors. My first mentor was a gentleman named Tom Paur. I met him when I was 13 years old, actually at a tractor show of all things, and he tripped and fell. So I ran up to him, helped him up. He was probably 73 at the time, and there's mentors in business, there's mentors in life, there's mentors in personal health, there's mentors in wellness. You have all sorts of mentors, because it's not just financially that you want mentorship. It's not just finance, it's not just business, it's not just wealth, it's not just money that you want to learn to master. You want to be able to master health, wealth, love, happiness, finances. All these things are important. Now, usually when it comes down to it, people focus on money. And here's the thing. Money allows you to have options. Money allows you to have freedom if you're earning it in a way that allows you to have time, which is very important. But through having time and through having money, you're able to do things like spend money on good food, on healthy food, on things that don't have nitrates and MSG and growth hormones and things that are unnatural, So I just want to talk to you guys a little bit about how to find mentors, how to have a mentor, and how to know what to look for in a mentor, okay? What you want to skip past is things where people look for mentorship in people that aren't doing any better than them. They take advice from people that aren't doing any better than them. And that's not mentorship. That's not a mentor. That's just somebody giving you their opinion that isn't going to get you any further ahead. So you want to look at what is it that you want to do in this area. What do you want to do financially? Do you want to do $1 million this year? You want to do $5 million? You want to do $10 million, okay? And if you're sitting here thinking, that's not possible, it is. It is, all right? What you can believe can be conceived, but it starts okay? It starts from within inside you, okay? There's a quote that says, if an egg is broken from outside, life dies. If an egg is broken from inside, life begins. Everything starts from within. Everything starts from inside. So you got to raise that number. But if you're thinking, okay, I need to find mentorship financially. I want to make $5 million. Look at who's in your industry that's already doing it. Don't look at the people that are doing $500,000. They can't tell you how to make $5 million. Don't look at the people that are making $5 million if you want to make $20 million. They haven't done it yet, okay? So look at the people that are doing it. They're doing what you want to do at a 10x level and seek mentorship. Now, when you're trying to approach a mentor, when you're trying to find mentors, you're not going to find it by, please, sir, help me. You're not going to find it by, give me money. But if you can show them that you're looking for value, if you can show them that you want to provide them value, if you can show them your eagerness, they are usually much more willing to give you their time than they are their money, okay? And money isn't going to help you. It goes back to that, give a man a fish, he'll eat for a day. Teach a man to fish, he'll eat for a lifetime, okay? You're just enabling somebody to fail by giving them money. So when you're seeking mentorship, you want to be seeking knowledge. Knowledge is what pays you. Knowledge is what gives you power. Knowledge is what you can monetize. People don't monetize money. They monetize knowledge, which then in turn makes more money. So I want to tell you a little bit about Tom Paur and who he was and how he left a big impact on my life, because it's going to show you a lot of the inherent qualities and characteristics that you want in a mentor. All right? And if you hear these geese overhead, I'm out of my land in Idaho. This is actually my land right here. This is like 1.2 acres right behind me. There's a whole bunch of estate homes. They're all, $800,000, $2 million homes. Some of them are $3-4 million. It's beautiful out here. Amazing sunsets. A great vineyard over here. Mountains in the background here. Mountains in the background over there. It's beautiful. So Tom Paur, he wasn't a business mentor to me per se. He actually died when I was about 22 years old. But I'm going to give you a story on him. So Tom I met when I was 13 years old at a tractor show. He fell. I helped him up. Now, I collected tractors as a little kid. Still do. Love antique tractors. And I had one of my tractors on display there. He started asking me questions about it. Started talking to me about it. Pretty soon, we're going to tractor shows together. He's inviting me over. He's picking me up from my house. I'm going hanging out with him. I'm 13 years old, hanging out with a man that's 60 years older than me. And I learned so much from him. I learned an incredible amount from Tom. Tom was a successful businessman. Tom was a very smart mechanic. And so I learned a lot about mechanics. I learned everything that I know about building engines and working on cars and stuff like that. I learned everything that I know from Tom. And one of the things Tom taught me is not to know things on a basic level, but to really understand why something works the way it does. Because if you can understand why something works the way it does, you can identify the problem. You can fix it. You can understand how, if you take the spark plug out of one hole in an 8-cylinder engine, why it's going to run on 7 cylinders, how much power it's going to lose. You can understand what the intake, compression, power, and exhaust stroke of a 4-stroke engine is. You can understand how certain parts begin to affect others when you take things out of the equation, okay? You understand how air pressure comes into play and the type of fuel that you use, or how a carburetor works and the different circuits in a carburetor. Then you can begin to understand why problems might persist, or why when you remove one circuit, other parts of the system might suffer, okay? And mentors understand this. People that have achieved financial success or wealth or health or whatever it is understand this. They understand systems. They understand all the moving parts. They understand all the pieces to it. And Tom was somebody that understood this. So he was my mentor that taught me how to work on engines, how to work on things, mechanics, all right? And he actually was a very successful business person. His company developed the world's first flat screen technology. It's a little 1x2-inch screen. He actually developed a product called Perfect Test Solutions that identified the amount of discrepancy in printed circuit boards. The cell phone that I'm using to record this right now, there's thousands of almost microscopic holes in all these panels. They're circuit boards. And what they have to do is conduct electricity from the top panel on maybe the bottom left corner to the very back panel, maybe 10, 12 panels back on the top right corner. Okay, and they have to be able to conduct electricity. So thousands of holes are drilled in these printed circuit boards. And Tom had discovered that for a hole to be drilled, go back out, move over, and go back in again, and being done thousands of times per minute, there was sort of an amount of air. Some holes were this far apart and some were this far apart, etc. It was a matter of thousands of inches. And he developed a tool to measure how much air, I'm not talking AIR, but air, ERROR, was between each one of these holes. And so he would sell this tool to all these different technology companies, Samsung and companies like that, some of the biggest companies in the world, multi-million-dollar deals. And he was able to basically rectify the process, and companies that were developing cell phones and, you know, later maybe Androids and stuff like that, cameras, anything, laptops with a printed circuit board, they were able to find their discrepancy and make their printed circuit boards smaller with more holes, manufacture them quicker, manufacture them better, and make their technology more powerful and work faster off of his technology. So he was a very successful businessman as well, but I didn't learn a whole lot from him in that regard. He'd passed away before I was, you know, an entrepreneur. So I wish I would have been able to pick his brain more, because he's probably the biggest mentor in my entire life to this day. And he passed away, you know, maybe three years ago. So I learned everything about engines from him. He'd come over, we built the engine in my old truck, not that truck, but a different truck. Built the engine in my old truck together, taught me how to rebuild an engine, taught me how the parts worked, taught me how carburetors worked, taught me how pistons worked, taught me how rings worked, taught me how pistons would seal inside the combustion chamber, inside the cylinder walls, taught me how heads worked, exhaust flow, intake flow, airflow, taught me how camshafts worked, taught me how fuel injection worked, taught me how to rebuild certain things with my eyes closed, and was always adamant on you can't be the guy replacing the part. You need to understand what replacing the part does in the system, all right, and how it affects other things. You got to have mentors. You have to have mentors. You can't do everything yourself. You can't, all right? At some point, somewhere, some way, somehow, somebody else out there knows what you need to learn, and they know it way better than you do, okay? And you got to be humble enough to seek out that advice, all right? So how do you find them? It can be hard. It can be hard. You got to be persistent at it. If you want a mentor online, somebody that is absolutely killing it in your industry, you're trying to seek him out, I've written letters to people every single week. I've committed to writing letters every single week, okay? I've committed to trying to put myself in a position where I'm seen, okay? I've committed myself to learning as much as I can, to align myself as much as I can, gain the attention, get on the radar of some of these people. You know, I remember when I first got starting out in entrepreneurship, and I started teaching Instagram, how to make money on Instagram, all right? And I didn't have mentors in that. I was all self-taught in that, going out and learning this stuff, trial and error, and finally getting it right. And then I started getting into cryptocurrency and did really well with that. And I turned 7 figures in crypto. And as the opportunity arose to teach it, I started teaching it. And I started teaching and teaching and teaching and teaching. And a couple of my students from my Instagram course had actually landed an opportunity to go meet Tai Lopez at his house in Beverly Hills. And I thought, man, that's cool. And I was like, you know, I'm going to take that a step further. I actually emailed Tai Lopez and I was like, hey, I really respect you. I got an immense amount of respect for you. I can't believe the amount of knowledge you have. I mean, man, I would love to spend 5 minutes talking to you. And I had an email back and they said, hey, well, you know, we're actually teaching people crypto right now. Instagram's not really what we're looking for. If you have any knowledge in crypto. And I said, just so happens I do. I love the opportunity. What do I got to do? And they said, look, we're going to be hosting this mastermind event and we're going to be teaching this course. If you have any videos, any modules, any training, submit them to us and we'll see after final review if you're one of the people that gets accepted. And so there was 60, 70, 80, 90 people. I don't know how many people that submitted all this information. It came down to 10 that he said, hey, your content has been accepted. We're going to put it in the training if you give your consent, and we're going to fly you down to Beverly Hills, teach at our mastermind. I was one of the 10. And that was in the beginning of 2018. I had the opportunity to go down there. And I keep in touch as often as I can with Alec and Josh down there at Ty's house, just like staying in front of the opportunities. What's the next opportunity? What's the next opportunity? What's the next opportunity? How can I help? How can I be of service? How can I contribute to the Tai Lopez team? Knowing that, you know, I'm here, Ty's here, right? But seeking out the mentorship. Sometimes it comes down to just being willing to take every opportunity you can, staying in front of it, writing the letters, okay? There's no secret on how to find a mentor, how to find mentors, okay? You got to do the work. You got to seek them out, and you always got to approach from a standpoint of value. How can you provide value to them? Not mooch them, not, hey, give me money, not, hey, give me your time. Be thirsty. Level up. Get as much knowledge as you can. Get on the radar. Write letters every single day. Send emails every single day. Be obsessed. Okay? Find 3 people that are doing what you want to do at a 10x level. You want to make $500,000? Don't consult the guy making $100,000. You want to make $5 million? Don't consult the guy making $1 million. He hasn't done it yet, okay? Write letters, emails, send them Facebook messages. I don't care what it is. Be consistent, engage every single day. Find 3 people. And I guarantee you hammer it enough, you approach from a standpoint of value enough, you level up enough. It's a matter of time before you get the, hey, all right, here's what you can do. Get me a pot of coffee. Get me a cup of coffee. Yes, sir. All right. You get them that coffee. You started on that conversation, right? That's all how it starts. Doesn't matter how small it is. You can just get in. That's all. That's all. Mentors are very important. So Tom went on to continue working with me. And when I went off to technical college for 4 months, it wasn't even a college. It was like a technical school, like, I don't know, like the size of like that shop right there. It's a tiny technical school. Nobody took anything seriously. I left very fast. I didn't complete one class in there. It was a waste of time. So Tom didn't see me for a while. And I got back. I got busy, right? I decided that being busy and hanging out with friends or doing whatever I was doing was more important. I went into sales. I got a job there. He came to see me, and he was proud. I mean, you know, he didn't have family immediately around. I know he thought of me like a son or a grandson, and I didn't have grandparents. So, you know, he was really proud of that. But I didn't get to see him, or I chose not to for a while, because I just decided to get immersed in my career, and that was it. And time went by, and I tried to call him up, no answer. Tried to call him up, no answer. And he only lived a few minutes down the road from me. I mean, it was horrible. We were a couple miles apart. And I get an email from his daughter one day. And his daughter says, hey, I don't know if you've been trying to get a hold of Tom, but he actually died. I was like, what? I mean, he was fine. Like 6 months ago, he was fine. He was fine. You know, it was crazy. That guy left more of an impression on me than anybody else to this day in my entire life. And looking back, you know, I hung around him and learned from him and all the tractors and mechanics and cars, and we went to car shows and things like that. I never had the opportunity to pick his brain, the business side. Guy owned a bank. Guy owned land. The guy built a company that designed the first flat screen technology. The guy built his own log house. It's crazy, the amount of things that I could have learned from him. You want a mentor? Go talk to that old person that sits in the corner all the time, that's never around anybody. You listen to the stories, the knowledge, the things they've seen. That's the place to start. Go find an old person, make friends, buy them a cup of coffee. So, you know, I really wish that I had still known Tom, but in any case, his daughter said, hey, he passed away and here's what happened, but, you know, you left such an impression on him. He willed you his stuff. And Tom had ended up willing me his antique tractor that his dad bought new in 1929, an antique John Deere GP. It's the only flathead valve John Deere that they ever made. And all this antique machinery that he restored. I still have it. You guys will see it someday, maybe in another YouTube video. But that's the importance of mentorship, and those are my suggestions on how to find a mentor, okay? Guys, if you're brand new, make sure to hit that notification bell. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Drop a comment. Let me know your thoughts, all right? Drop a comment below this video as well. And I always include resources for you guys, some free resources, some extra tips, tricks, okay, on how to find a mentor, on how to get started, okay, in the description. So please be checking that out. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.